Hey everyone! If you're planning to enter the medical device market in Hong Kong, this video is extremely important for you. Because many manufacturers think, if we have FDA clearance or CE marking, entering Hong Kong should be easy. But then reality becomes very different. Companies often face delayed approvals, distributor dependency, wrong pricing strategy, weak documentation, regulatory confusion, poor market positioning, unexpected compliance costs. And many businesses lose valuable time before they even generate their first sale. The painful part? Most of these problems happen because companies enter Hong Kong without a proper market entry strategy. And honestly, Hong Kong is not just another small market. It is strategically important because strong healthcare infrastructure, access to regional buyers, gateway to Asia-Pacific opportunities, high-value private healthcare sector, strong distributor network potential. But success requires much more than just submitting documents. You need regulatory planning, commercial strategy, LRP planning, distributor management, documentation alignment, pricing strategy, compliance preparation. So, in this complete guide, we'll cover everything. Step-by-step Hong Kong market entry process, regulatory pathway strategy, MDACS overview, LRP requirements, timeline breakdown, cost breakdown, hidden costs companies ignore, documents required, commercial planning strategy, top mistakes with real examples, how to reduce delays, how smart manufacturers scale faster. And trust me, if you're entering Hong Kong in 2026, this video could save you months of delays, major compliance risks, distributor conflicts, and huge unnecessary expenses. Let's begin. Part 1. Why Hong Kong is strategic for medical device companies. Why manufacturers target Hong Kong? Hong Kong is attractive because of advanced healthcare ecosystem, strong import-driven market, international hospital network, regional distribution potential. Many global manufacturers use Hong Kong as a strategic Asia entry point. But here's the reality. Entering Hong Kong successfully requires balancing regulatory compliance, commercial flexibility, long-term distribution strategy. Common industry mistake. Companies focus only on approval, but later struggle with distributor control issues, market access delays, poor pricing margins, weak regulatory coordination. Real example. A manufacturer appointed an exclusive distributor too early. Later, market performance was weak, distributor relationship deteriorated, but regulatory control remained tied to the distributor. Result? Expansion became difficult. Key insight. Your market entry strategy affects your long-term business control, not just your approval timeline. Part 2. Step-by-step market entry strategy. Step 1. Define your market entry goals. Before regulatory submission, manufacturers must decide: direct sales or distributor model, premium positioning or competitive pricing, long-term regional expansion plan. Why this matters? Your strategy impacts regulatory structure, LRP setup, distributor agreements, pricing flexibility. Common mistake? Entering market without clear commercial roadmap. Result? Weak long-term scalability. Best practice: build regulatory and commercial strategy together. Step 2. Device classification analysis. Everything begins with classification.
Why classification matters? Classification determines documentation depth, testing requirements, clinical evidence expectations, review complexity. Common mistake: assuming FDA or EU classification automatically applies. Example: a software-based medical device was incorrectly treated as low risk. Result: additional evidence requests delayed submission review. Best practice: conduct local classification assessment early. Step 3. Determine MDACS strategy. Hong Kong operates under Medical Device Administrative Control System, or MDACS. Important reality: technically, MDACS is voluntary, but commercially,
Many hospitals and buyers strongly prefer listed devices. Should you enter without MDACS? Pursue immediate listing. Phase market entry gradually. Common mistake: companies underestimate buyer expectations. Result: distributor resistance, reduced commercial opportunities. Best practice: align regulatory pathway with commercial goals. Step 4. Appoint local responsible person (LRP). Foreign manufacturers often require local responsible person support. LRP supports regulatory communication, submission coordination, post-market communication. Biggest mistake: choosing cheapest LRP or distributor-controlled setup without long-term strategy. Example: manufacturer wanted to change distributors later, but distributor controlled regulatory representation structure. Result: major transition difficulties. Best practice: evaluate independent representation strategy carefully. Step 5. Perform gap analysis. This step is massively underestimated. Gap analysis reviews, technical documentation, test reports, labeling, risk management, clinical evidence, IFU consistency. Common mistake: skipping gap analysis to save time. Result: bigger delays later. Example: outdated sterility validation discovered after submission. Result: retesting required. Best practice: identify problems before submission. Step 6. Prepare technical documentation. Includes device description, intended use, risk analysis, clinical evidence, test reports, labeling, IFU. Common problems: inconsistent intended use, unsupported claims, missing reports, poor document control. Best practice: conduct full consistency review. Step 7. Submission and communication management. Once submission begins, communication speed matters enormously. Common mistake: slow responses to authority questions. Example: clarification response delayed by several weeks. Result: review timeline increased significantly. Best practice: prepare clarification response systems early. Part 3. Documents required. Administrative documents. Manufacturer information. Authorization letters, business certificates, technical documents, device description, intended use, risk management file, test reports, clinical evidence, quality documents, ISO 13485 certificate, manufacturing controls, labeling documents, labels, IFU, packaging artwork, common documentation errors, expired reports, missing signatures, inconsistent intended use statements. Result: delays and clarification requests. Part 4. Timeline breakdown. Market entry planning, 1 to 3 months strategic preparation. Documentation preparation, 2 to 6 months depending on readiness. MDACS review timeline, 3 to 12 months depending on complexity.
Biggest timeline delays: weak documentation, slow clarification response, poor LRP coordination, missing test reports. Key insight: most delays happen because companies rush early planning. Part 5. Cost breakdown. Direct costs: regulatory consulting, LRP fees, documentation preparation, testing, translation support. Hidden costs: delayed product launch, distributor dependency, retesting costs, relabeling expenses, lost market opportunities. Example: a manufacturer skipped proper planning to reduce initial costs. Later, retesting, documentation revision, commercial restructuring became necessary. Result: final costs became much higher. Key lesson: poor planning is usually more expensive than proper preparation. Part 6. Biggest mistakes to avoid. Mistake 1. Focusing only on approval. Result: weak long-term strategy. Mistake 2. Choosing wrong LRP structure. Result: distributor dependency. Mistake 3. Weak documentation planning. Result: clarification requests. Mistake 4. Ignoring labeling consistency. Result: packaging revisions. Mistake 5. Using expired test reports. Result: retesting delays. Mistake 6. Delayed authority responses. Result: extended timelines. Mistake 7. No post-market planning. Result: future compliance risk. Key insight: successful market entry is a business strategy, not just a regulatory submission.
Part 7. How smart manufacturers win in Hong Kong. Smart strategy. Start planning early. Build regulatory and commercial strategy together. Conduct detailed gap analysis. Choose experienced LRP support. Align all documentation carefully. Protect long-term business flexibility. Prepare for post-market compliance early. One powerful sentence: the companies that enter Hong Kong successfully are the ones that treat compliance as part of business growth, not just paperwork. Planning to enter the Hong Kong medical device market? Don't let weak planning, documentation gaps, wrong distributor strategy, poor LRP structure, delayed approvals slow down your expansion. Why choose OMC Medical? Hong Kong MDACS expertise, market entry strategy support, technical documentation guidance, LRP solutions, faster approval planning, end-to-end regulatory consulting. Whether you're launching your first product in Hong Kong or expanding your Asia-Pacific presence, talk to OMC Medical experts today. If this video helped you understand how to build a strong Hong Kong medical device market entry strategy, follow OMC Medical for more medical device regulatory insights, global compliance strategies, and international market access guidance. See you in the next video.